Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and today we're going to be working on this 2021 Kia Sorento. We're going to be putting on an LC2i with this subwoofer amp kit, so that way we can integrate this into the factory system. The speakers are nice, it just needs more bass. So, off goes the weather stripping right here. Just pop this up, just get your fingers under it. Just like that. There we go. We got a trough for our power and ground from the engine bay. And then for right here, just again, just like that. Right here, again, just like you did up front, you just need to pop this one up. Like that. It's majorly so we can get this one out. Move the rubber out of the way here. And I'm just going to be popping this part off here. So we might want to pull this out here. And the reason why is right here is where those wires come in from your door. 9/16, if I were you, slide this up and take this seatbelt off. Don't let it roll all the way in though. I suggest just attaching it to something. So if you don't want to do what I did and take off the door panel, because you really don't need to, the two twisted wires right here, the yellow and black, are them. I would usually advise against it because I'm always scared about airbags. Because usually airbags use a yellow wire and you don't want to mess with that. Do not mess with your airbag wires. Leave them be, do not touch them. All right, I'm going to strip these back, grab my soldering iron, and we're going to solder a couple speaker wires onto here and bring them over to our LC2i. All I did is I reached underneath here, lifted up a little bit and grabbed the speaker wire and brought it out here, because my plan is to put the LC2i just up and over here, or over here. If I want to, I can make a little slit right here and pop these up, and we'll just put it up here. Might even put it on top of the amp. We'll see where we put it. Not too worried. So this wire is now right here. I'm gonna strip these back and gonna solder this onto here, and then we can hook the first wire up to the LC2i. Take a look. Orange and teal are your wire color right here. So for this one, there's no easy access, and we don't want to make it look sloppy going across. So what I like to do is just pop up this trim, and then what we do is we tuck it in just like this, so it's in that corner. I'll take care of that corner, that final corner, in a sec. So right here, and after we get over here, you can see it's all tucked in along here. You can also tuck it in deeper if you have that panel popper or a panel popper. And we just want to tuck it in just like this, so it's all the way to this. And then there's this Velcro piece for your carpet, and we're gonna just tuck it into here. Make sure we get into the Velcro piece right here. I like to tuck the corner in like that, and then just go ahead and tuck that wire in all the way. Now the other reason why we're going to go through here anyway is when we bring in your subwoofer wire, because you're going to want to get into this carpet space right here, so we can hide that subwoofer wire to the back. So again, just tuck it and bring it all the way up over to here. So for the power wire, go in underneath, look for that, see where that rubber grommet is? All I did is I poked a fish stick right through it. It's not a very thick grommet, so you might have to poke a hole through it with a poker first. So what I did is you make sure you stay away from those wires, but you poke this to the side of the wires. Then if you want, you can build that hole a little bit bigger, and then you can slide the other through. When we go to slide our power wire through, it's going to be a lot of lube, or in this case we're going to be using hand soap. right here on this end right here. Take a little bit of Dawn or whatever soap you have. Whoop, blowing bubbles. Just lube this up. Get a little bit farther up the fiberglass stick or whatever you're using to poke through. And the reason why is then it'll start to lube it, and then it'll get to here, and then it'll slide right through. You still need to put some good force into it and make sure that you lube it afterwards. Tape first the stick, then add the wire, so that way it adds more grip with the tape. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other side and pull it through. So leave this power wire just right here for right now. We are not gonna hook it up. As you can see, when we do cut this in, we can zap strap our fuse right here and hold it off of here. You could also just zap strap it to this handle right here if you wanted to. You just bring it up here, put it right there. But I prefer to go to something down here. And again, I'll probably just pull just a little bit more so that way it can come up, attach right here, and then it goes straight to the battery. And that'll just be off of, say, even this one right here. So we'll pop it up the side here and attach it here, or we can attach it here since that's on a amped circuit. So we might just end up, I might even just bring it around up over here and just attach it either onto this bolt or that bolt. And that'll be a 10 mil, but that is the last thing we do, and we have to cut in our fuse. So leave this for right now. Give this a nice close up, and let's go into the vehicle and finish up everything in there first. Just throw on a set of witch's pubes right here, and then clean off a metal spot right there on that frame piece. You can see where I've done that right there. I'm gonna also wipe some stuff on there to protect that afterwards from corrosion, but see how that's exposed? That's bare metal. You want it to be that kind of silver, otherwise you're not gonna make a good connection. Take a self-tapping screw and put your ground in there for your amp. Reach up here, you'll see there's a dashboard, silver dashboard bracket. You're not gonna see my hand. It's up there though. There's a silver bracket, and if you tuck your power wire around it, it'll hold it up there, and then if you want, you can zap strap it over here, and then you're just gonna tuck it in under the carpet like that. Tuck it in all the way to our amp spot, which is over here. Pull it out through there, and you can see it's all right here. We have all our wiring we need here now. At this point, go ahead and you could put this all back together if you'd like. For me, I like to test my system first, so I'm gonna go ahead and start wiring up the amp / LC2I. All right, as you can see, 12 volts is our power wire, our ground, which we put over there with our screw, self-tapped it in. It's right there. Our remote wire, which is right here. And then this is going to our subwoofer wire, which we ran to the back cargo area. And then you'll see that you still have your 2 speaker wires. I've added in a power and a ground with my power and ground, which is this one right here, because this needs to feed back to our LC2I to give it power to turn on and off. And then again, we'll have it on signal sensing, which I'll show you to make sure that yours is set up for that. So at this point, I'm gonna suck this amp back to here, tuck everything in, because everything I need is on this side. So let's look at the LC2I. As you can see, there's base output. So these 2 RCAs are gonna go to those 2 RCAs on there for the input on there. Other things you need to know. GTO is the automatic turn on signal sensing. So you want to leave this enabled. If yours isn't working, make sure that jumper is in the right spot, like how mine is. See that jumper, how it's on the left side, not the right? That means that it's enabled to work. All right, left and right speakers. We're gonna put our left and right speaker wires in here. Just we pulled, so make sure that those wires go into there. And then now, with the power and the ground that I ran, run those 2, the remote out. You're gonna take that remote out and make sure that goes to that blue wire, which I ran to the amplifier from the last shot. So 12 volt ground, remote out, and then you have these. So let's quickly plug these in, and then keep these all at mid, just like that. Don't touch any of these for right now. If yours are out of whack, make sure that they're sitting mid-range. By the way, guys, one last thing for you. If you decide that you aren't using an LC2I and you want to do a high output converter, see this wire right here, this white one right next to the green, and yeah. So this is a switched accessory. You should check it with a meter, but this will tell your amp relay to turn on. So if you want to, you could solder onto this to use it as a amp remote wire, not as a power wire, but as a remote wire to tell your amp to turn on. So I have my input signal set at halfway, which is RMS. We have our left and our right. Our left and right doesn't really matter because it's a mono block. If we were dealing with speaker amps, it'd be different. And then bass boost is at 0 because you don't want that anyway. That's what we have this for. So again, all leveled across, and I've screwed this down onto the floor. Again, I didn't end up going too deep. You don't want really deep screws. So put those two there, and then Velcro the LC2i on top so that way I can pull it out to make adjustments if I need to. These RCAs are way too long. That's why you see that big bundle back there. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna probably order a 0.5 meter or something, like something really small, because we just literally need some RCAs to go from there to there to there to there. Don't need anything too crazy. So now that we have everything kind of done and like that, I'm gonna plug the sub in the back, which is really easy. Subwoofer's got its stuff there. This slides right here. Now this is gonna sit just like this, because what he's gonna do is when he has to move his seats and flip them up, he can actually just slide the subwoofer forward and then do whatever he needs to do, or he can disconnect it. That's why we have it like that. And then if you're worried about your subwoofer sliding around, again, throw some Velcro on the bottom. You can get that 50-pound Velcro, and then you can pull it on and off your seat. For him, though, in his last vehicle, he never had it bolted down. It never slid around, so why mess with it? We'll go from there. So now let's go get that power done under the hood, and after that, we can start hearing some boom boom. This one right here, hold it right about here. This is where we're gonna zap strap it, so now we know. So cut it right here, and then we can do both ends of that fuse. You'll see in a sec. So when you're doing this, clear goes over first, then you have a rubber grommet, aims this way. This keeps moisture out of here, just in case moisture gets under the hood. Suck that back here. And then the next thing you're gonna do is loosen this off, and like loosen this screw off in here. You'll see that insert, make sure it doesn't come out. Slip this inside that insert and tighten it up. We have this like so. What we're gonna wanna do is first loosen this, slide your fuse on. Then take this, push it so it slides over that O-ring. Take this side. If it's not loose, loosen it, but if it is, just do this. And then let's take this. Sorry, almost dropped my Allen key. Do that. Take this up. We're gonna squeeze this back over this O-ring and onto this O-ring, so that way it seals like that. See how these O-rings seal on each plastic piece? And then this is your other rubber one, which seals on the end pieces. And then you just tighten this up. You'll see it squeezes against the metal and seals there. Same will happen here. This will slide up right there. O-rings right there. Tighten it up. And now you have a sealed fuse block. This, I'm gonna, like I told you before, I could zap strap it here, right here, or at the bottom down here, which is another good spot, right there. Either way, before I do that, I wanna test it. I'm gonna grab a 10 mil, loosen this bolt off right here, and then slide our amp on there. I nipped out the box a little bit right here, slip that in, let it sit in that groove, and just make sure that this does not compress it. So that way it sits nice. You just don't want it to cause kinking or anything. So after that, I'm gonna make sure this is nice and tight. Make sure this stays here though, as I tighten it. So you need both hands, but hold this here, tighten that up, and close the box. Also, when you go to put that on, of course, if this is your first time, it sparks for a second. If you start seeing a bunch of sparks and they don't go away, it means that you've probably hooked up your ground and your positive backwards on your amplifier. Here we go. This is on here. I just used some more of that really strong Velcro I had. This is right there. It goes down to our amplifier inside the cab there. We'll close this in a sec. Let's make sure everything's working.